Well, I'm
There you go. Okay, awesome. So thank you everyone for attending. We here have some great comedians that are going to be performing for us tonight. I know that the situation in Myanmar is very, very dire, and we don't really have a lot of chance to laugh, people who've been following this situation. So I'm really happy to have this opportunity. As a lot of people know, Burma has a long history of comedy. The Mustache Brothers come to mind, Zarganar, who's both a political figure and a comedian. And so, you know, this is a great act of solidarity with the people of Myanmar, with a tradition that is quite popular there. So before turning it over to the comedians, who I'm sure are who you're really here to listen to and watch, I'll just let Terrence do a bit of an introduction as well.
Yep. Hello, everybody. My name is Terrence Tu, and I'm a Karen ethnic from Burma. I immigrated to the United States about 13 years ago now, and I finished school here and all that. And I actually went to the same, university as Mike did, American University in DC. And ever since the coup, I've been very active in trying to, bring back democracy in Burma in whatever way possible, through fundraising, through participating in protests or lobbying, anything like that. And I'm glad that we're coming together today to have some fun, but at the same time, raise funds for what's going on in Burma, and appreciate the solidarity. And if we keep on fighting, I know for sure that we will attain democracy in Burma for real.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Terrence, for that. And so we are going to go in the order that was circulated on the invite, so that everybody can not be too surprised. We wouldn't want to surprise you too much. And Terrence is going to introduce the first.
Sure. The first one we have is Amira Abu Saud, and Amira is based in Boston, and she's one of the saddest funny comedians. So everybody, please welcome Amira.
Thank you. How is everyone?
Ooh.
My therapist told me to ask, but I don't care. Okay, so I wear a wedding ring. I'm not married at all, but you gotta dress for the job that you so desperately want. So I have social anxiety, I'm single, and I'm too anxious to mingle. I come from a strict Muslim family. I was all dolled up, ready to go out. And my dad was like, "Hey, you look like a whore. Take off that makeup." I'm like, "Wow, thank you so much. That's so sweet." I'm not taking relationship advice from a guy with 4 divorces. My family supports me like an old bra. They just leave me hanging. The only guys that are hitting on me are my creepy cousin and guys at open mics. My cousin was my safety, but then he got married. It's okay. I don't want to keep this last name anyway. It's too hard to pronounce. I don't drink, but I'm a lot of fun when I'm tired. So just get me some ZzzQuil and read me War and Peace. There was this guy hitting on me on Instagram, and I was like, "Let's just talk as friends since you're in Egypt." And he's like, "Okay, but I wish I was born in your eyes so I can roll down your cheeks and die in your lips." LOL. I was like, "Did you think that adding LOL would not creep me out and it's just casual now?" But I decided to talk to him like a casual friend. So I was like, "I wish I was conceived in your nose so I can go down your esophagus and die in your heart like a blood clot." LOL. I went out with this guy that does Reiki, and I was like, "Well, what's Reiki?" And he's like, "When you transfer energy and you heal people, but you're not touching. Can you feel it?" Not at all. But so I still went back to his place because I have low self-esteem. And and he's like, "Well, can I get a hand job?" And I was like, "No, I come from a strict family. But how about a Reiki hand job? Can you feel?" why I ask if it's PG-13. So me and my sister were talking, and she's like, I don't like to touch gross things. I'm like, okay, but you know you're not ready for dating, right? You should try Reiki dating. All right. So there's this old creepy guy on Facebook messaging me. He's like, hey, do you want to live with me for $300 a week? I think just to talk. But I was like, no, thanks. I make more in unemployment and I don't have to do sex work. I'm so glad I don't do sex work anymore because I wasn't making much money. It was Reiki sex work. So I was kissing my cat and I was like, wait, we should take it slow. Wait for marriage. I'm just kidding. I don't have a cat. Or the stray. Okay. So I was asking my dad where I can go on a date, and he was like, you guys can go to hell. I was like, I've been living in hell. I want to try something different, change it up a bit. Okay. So in my religion, if you say Bismillah before you eat, it blesses your food. And if you don't, the devil eats with you. I was so lonely, I didn't say Bismillah for the company. My friend was asking me, well, what type of guy are you into? And I'm like, black, white, Asian, Spanish, Indian. It doesn't matter. I'm over 30 and the clock is ticking. So lonely. So I went out with this guy on a really romantic date. It was at the Macy's furniture department. I'm like, can we go somewhere, like a real date? And he's like, sure. Do you want to go to the bedroom section? No, I don't. I was like, we have to go to the bridal section first. I'm a classic girl. So me and this guy obviously weren't working out. So I was like, let's just stay friends. And he's like, can we be friends with benefits? I'm like, no, we're Walmart friends, no benefits. And no living wage. Yeah, okay. So I watched way too many romantic movies growing up. So I started to think, like, if I just drop some papers, a hot guy will come help me, we'll lock eyes and fall in love. But in reality, what would happen is I drop the papers in a puddle while the happy couple walks over them. I'm just like left alone crying. For some reason, an Adele song is playing. She's always there when I'm sad. Always. So I heard that like guys will lie, steal, and cheat for sex. I will lie, steal, and cheat for Oreos. So I'm so lonely. I just went to see Santa for like last year at Christmas time, and he's like, "What do you want for Christmas?" And I'm like, "For my dad to stop calling me a whore, for a thrift mother, and for to be Christian." Just really confused Santa. All right, so I'm so happy my sister is pregnant because next month I'll have 2.5 friends. All right, that was a good one. So my sister's been waxing her own bikini area, and I'm like, why don't you just shave it? So much easier. She's like, oh, because it gets all scaly and bumpy. Men don't care what's on the outside. They only care what's on the inside. Okay. So before a date, my sister's asking me, are you going to shave? And I'm like, no, because if he can't handle me at my hairiest, then he can't have me at my smoothest. I think the quote goes something like that. All right. So I'm not really good with transitions. So now I'm going to talk about my dad. So I was like wearing this tight shirt before a date, and because, I wanted it to go well. And my dad was like, you're putting a sweater on, right? It's too tight. And I'm like, if the date goes well, it's going to come off. Am I right, Dad? No. He left me hanging. So it was like Ramadan where like we're fasting for 16 hours. I was hungry and tired. And I was asking my dad to cook for me. And he was like, oh, I was like, I feel like I'm withering away. And he was like, you're 30 pounds overweight. You're not withering away. Cook for yourself. I'm like, wow, you're gonna win a Father of the Year award. You're so great. All right, so my family and I went to the Dead Sea. It's like super dead. Nothing can live in there. No fish, no nothing. Not even broken dreams. So my aunt was trying to warn us all, don't open your eyes in the water or burn really bad. But my dad doesn't like people telling him what to do. So he opened his eyes and dove right in. I was like, why did you do that? He's like, I wanted to see the fish. I want to see something dead and empty. Why don't you look into my eyes? So my dad's a big fan of children's movies, but one of his favorites is Aladdin, but he pronounces it Aladdin because we're Arab. So he has like this little mini drum, and he'll sing along, and he'll be like, I can show you the world, shiny team. I'm like, hey dad, can I talk to you for a little? I feel a bit lonely. He's like, no, go away, whore, and throws a drum at me. Some foreigners have problems pronouncing some words, but my dad has no problem calling me a whore. Like, I don't even know why he likes this movie so much. Like, this Princess Jasmine is not even modest at all. She wears like a bikini top at dinner. She like got married after an hour and 31 minutes. She stole an apple from the market. Are you guys with me? Like, we hate Jasmine. And then she has an endangered animal as like a pet. Like, who keeps a tiger as a pet? I don't know. And she let Aladdin ride her carpet on the second date. Okay. Another one of his favorites is Annie. He'll sing along with that one too. He'll be like, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you, I love. I'm like, hey dad, can I talk to you? I feel a bit suicidal. He's like, no, go away, slut. I guess there won't be a tomorrow. So I gave my dad's, actually, I gave a homeless guy some money, and I told my dad about it. And he was like, how come you don't give me any money? And I was like, because he's nice to me. And he doesn't call me a whore. Thank you guys. That's my time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was really funny, and really appreciate having you guys on this show. This is very different than like the meetings with senators that we have all day. So it's like the adjusting is like a bit difficult to like, when the senator says something like that, you're not supposed to laugh, you know, you're supposed, yeah, that's a good point, you know. So it's like it's a major adjustment, but it's awesome. So yeah, thank you for that. Cool. Next we have Brendan Go, who is an up-and-coming comedian and inspiring writer from Malaysia. He's performed multiple countries, including through the comfort of Zoom, which I suppose he's doing tonight. So when not being a comedian, he likes to imagine himself as a celebrity. Many of us feel the same way. So yeah, take it away.
Hello, you guys. Hi. How is everyone tonight? Can you guys hear me clearly? Because the audio was in and out. We're good? Okay. Hi. As you guys know, you guys were not expecting this today. My name is Brendan. You know, I identify as a gay first and Chinese second. I watch RuPaul's Drag Race as passionate as straight men watching football. But people always ask me, right? Like, Brendan, you know, like, why are you gay? You know, and I was like, well, I'm gonna put it down to this moment. You know, it was in school. The teacher was doing the roll call, and she called my name Brendan Go, and I said, my name is not Brendan Go. You know, it's Brittany, bitch. And when you sass the teacher, you get spanked by the teacher, right? The teacher said, okay, Brendan, for your offense just now, you get 3 strokes of the cane. First stroke, bam, this is because you call your teacher a bitch. Second stroke, bam, this is to remind you that your name is Brendan Go and not Brittany, bitch. The third stroke, she hit me without any warning. And I was like, what was that for? And her answer was, well, I was hoping you're gonna say, hit me, baby, one more time. I thought I was over, I head back to my seat, she hit me again. And I was like, what was that for? And she was like, oops, I did it again. Yeah, I know, right? But coming out to my family is kind of hard as well, you know. For example, I have this religious Christian aunt. I like to call her Auntie Christ. Auntie Christ asked me, you know, Brendan, where's your Chinese girlfriend? And I was like, listen, I don't want a Chinese girlfriend because I am the Chinese girlfriend, you know, like position built, bitch. Yeah. So yeah, it's always kind of like that, you know, that kind of thing. My dad even though it was not funny right now, like I'm 31, you know, like last reunion, my aunt met me and she's like, where's your Chinese boyfriend now, bitch? You know, my dad was like, I don't believe you're gay, you know, I want you to prove it. And I was like, Dad, I'm gay, I'm not incestuous, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah. But seriously though, coming from Malaysia, it's kind of hard, you know, we have a very oppressive government. You know, like for example, the Malaysian government has issued edicts that says that you can identify a gay person by these criteria. You know, number one, they wear a lot of V-necks. Number two, they are physically fit, and number three, they go to the gym a lot and take selfies. When I heard this, I was extremely hurt and I was extremely heartbroken because at that moment, I realized that I was not a government-approved gay. You know, and yeah, it's hard, you know, like people also tell me like, Brendan, you know, you're going to hell, you know, gay people are terrible. When gay people have sex, they cause, you know, hurricanes, thunderstorms, and other natural disasters. And I was like, if it was true, I would actually bring a bunch of gay men, we'll go to the Middle East, and we'll have the hottest, dirtiest orgy the world has ever seen. And we'll bring all the rain, tsunamis, and thunderstorms into the area. That is because the Middle East really needs the water, you know. We need to hydrate that place. It's dry. Yeah. I know, right? Like you guys have been known for my whole material has been like, you know, love yourself, be yourself, and be fabulous. But it's not acceptable in Malaysia, you know. I tried to get this material around local Malaysians. They were like, no, Brendan, this is absolutely not relatable to the local Malaysian person. You should try something that is family friendly, that is totally acceptable and enjoyed by all Malaysians. Why don't you do racism? Like, great. Racism is actually very prominent in Malaysia. We are a country that's made up of multiple races, just like America. And just like America, there are certain social injustices applied to certain races. With that said, wait, I lost my train of thought. With that said, right, I decided like there are a lot of variations where people start out going to racist jokes like, oh, I'm Chinese, you know, I eat chopsticks with pasta, you know, that kind of thing. So it's not that good. So I decided to do my own. And it was like this kind of thing. Like I have this friend, her name's Stacy. She's white. And, you know, she always goes like this, you know, like, oh my God, Brenda, your English is like so good. You know, like whenever like you talk English, you speak it properly without an accent. That is like so amazing. You know, normally I would not hang with you people, but you're like an azalea that could get eager with. You know what I mean? And I was like, you thought I would be offended, but I was like, no, Stacy, thank you for seeing me for who I am as a person. You know, I'm a Chinese boy on the outside, but a white girl on the inside, you know? Yeah, I know. I need like a good shot of pumpkin spice latte. Just go for me and say it's cheap. And I think UGG boots are amazing. Yeah, but obviously as a person who's of Asian descent, I also do get prejudices from other people. For example, there's one guy who came up to me and said, you know, hey dude, don't touch me because I don't want to get your virus. And I was like, which one? And yeah, it's always kind of like that, right? Like there's this black guy. I was in London. I was in Sephora looking about BB creams, and this toxic black guy came up to me and said, you know, hey, you're a chinky faggot. And I was like, dude, why do you do that to me? You know, throughout history, Black people and Chinese people, we don't have any beef in it under. You know, like Chinese people did not enslave Black people. Chinese people are people who have honor, dignity, and accountability. That is why we enslave ourselves. You know, you don't need to go far. Like you just need to check out the Apple factory, you know, there are people there. Yeah. But to be honest, as a person of Asian descent, especially in where I come from, we really love white people, even though they colonized us before. There is this saying, right? If you're a white person who marries an Asian person, we call that hitting the jackpot. If you have a baby with a white person, we call that a Chanel baby. Yeah, gold standard, right? We will never treat this to any other races. You would never say like, oh, you know what? I want to marry a black person, and we're gonna have a baby, and we're gonna call it a Yeezy baby. Like you wouldn't, if you guys don't know, Yeezy is a collaboration between German fashion brand Adidas and formerly cool rapper Kanye West. Yeah. It's also like that. Like I would say, like if I marry a Latino dude and we get married and we had a baby and the baby is gay, I was called that little kid my little fabuloso. Yes. Okay. I'll just like get through all this, right? Like I know that in terms of being gay in Malaysia, it's kind of hard to find someone to get along with, and someone who also interested in Western values. Also, it's kind of hard to find someone who has the same commonality as me. And dating has been very hard, Like I was swiping through Tinder, and this guy was saying like, "Oh, I'm a sapiosexual." I was like, "Oh my God, a sapiosexual? Really? That means you're attracted to intelligence, right? So what do you jerk off to, honey? Like math equations? Like what's erotica for you? Einstein's theory of relativity? If you're into BDSM and I say, like, honey, what's 2 plus 2? What's 2 plus 2? And you said 4. I said, no, it's fish and you eat my foot and that turns you on? Okay, fine, But seriously though, like my love life is like Lady Gaga, Like if you say your favorite song is Shallow, which is most Malaysians say that it is the straightest song for Lady Gaga. It's like Lady Gaga for straight people. Yeah. And I'm more on the Born This Way kind of level, Like Lady Gaga once said there can be 100 people in the room and 99 of them said no, except it's just one guy. And that one person for me is a straight guy who's willing to experiment, Yeah. And it didn't go well, it kills your psyche a little bit. You're like, oh my gosh, Brendan, you turned a gay man straight. There's a term called the straightener in the gay dictionary, and your face is directly on it. You're so good at turning gay men straight that, Christians would recommend you as an effective form of conversion therapy. Yeah, I know, but it's okay. I'm working it out. It's all good. But to be honest though, right? I'll end you guys in this little light note. My family actually loves me, but they can be a bit of a slave driver, Like my mom's making me like carrying flower pots around, and I was so angry. I was like, Mom, am I a slave for you? And she was like, yes, you better work, bitch. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you very much, Brendan. Yeah, that was really funny, especially the one about the Chinese enslaving people. All right. So next up we have DC. He's a comedian who weaves his experience as a husband, father, and chiropractor, and into his unique brand of observational humor. He currently resides and performs in Chicago, and published a comedy album on Spotify called Chocolate Durian, based on his life as an expat in Southeast Asia. So please welcome DC.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm looking at the gallery view of the screen right now, and it resembles my ESL class that I grew up with in Canada. So I feel homesick. Michael and Simon are the teacher assistant. Everybody else is like, wow, deja vu. It's awesome. Hey, so I now am from Chicago, but I got to qualify what part of Chicago I'm from, because every so often I have a person who after a show comes up to me and says, "Word, you're from Chicago?" Yo, I'm from the South Side. I'm like, oh, hold a second. I'm not from that Chicago. Like the Chicago you hear from the news. Like in my neighborhood, when you hear pop, 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 I immediately think, oh, that's fireworks again. You see, like I lack the instinct to survive the other parts of Chicago. Right? I will not make it in other parts of the city. I'm just saying. But I guess just from a show of hands, who misses traveling internationally? Who's tired of being housebound? Yep. Okay, good. Amen. Amen. I hear you. I miss traveling pre-COVID. In fact, I spent a couple of years in Singapore before COVID. Lovely country. Love it. Amazing people. Ain't no black people though. Ain't no black people at all. In fact, when I showed up, they didn't even use my name. They just called me Singapore Black Man number 5. Like an endangered species. Now it was it's okay when you see other Black people, like, one or two, but when I see too many Black people in one area, I get concerned, I get freaked out, right? Like, one or two people, I get excited, like, hey, how's it going? I'm waving from a distance, like, hey, over here. I see 5 or 6, I'm thinking, oh, must be a team in town or a family. But I got freaked out when I see 20 or 30 Black people together in a country like Singapore, and there's no music, and there's no barbecue, there's no dancing. I get concerned. I'm thinking, is there a protest that we're supposed to have that I didn't get the memo about? Like, no one told me. Or even worse, are we being rounded up? Again? Worked on us once, but not again. That first cruise ship, yes, I caught us, but it wasn't first class, it was cargo class. Never again. Relax, folks there. I'm not looking for reparations tonight. You can't afford it. But I'll happily accept a beer. Now, Singapore was, it's funny in Singapore because I don't know how many times on my hand, on 2 hands, I can count, small Chinese aunties asking me if I was a Nigerian pastor. All the time. Are you a Nigerian pastor? No, auntie, no. Are you an African student? Auntie, no. Are you a basketball player? Yes, I'm a basketball player. I'm 5'8". It's the first time in my whole life I felt tall, so I embraced it. But I just started having fun with them, and I embraced it. However, I just said, listen, auntie, I'm not a basketball player. I'm not a student. I'm not a pastor. But I am in a country to make a deposit on behalf of my family. Yes, that's right. I'm a Nigerian prince. That wasn't an email hoax, auntie. Why didn't you call me? You could have spared me the trip. I'm here right now. What's up? Now, you know how safe Singapore is? I'll give an example. I took a taxi one time and I left my phone in my taxi and I panicked and I freaked out and I chased after the cab and I got it in time because, our whole lives are on our phones nowadays, right? But at that moment, I was like, wow, I can't believe I was more panicked about losing my phone in a cab than if I had left my daughter in that same cab in Singapore. Because if I left my daughter, I'm like, man, they'll bring her back. Because you know how hard it is to lose a Black child in Singapore, right? There's no other Black people. I mean, you can walk home, if you're a Chinese Singaporean, you can walk home with an iPhone, no one's asked a question. You walk home with a Black child, you're gonna get some looks in your neighborhood. In fact, people are so friendly. Even if I did lose my daughter and she got lost, they'd be like, oh, you look lost. You probably belong to Singapore Black man number 5. Come here, follow me. That's how friendly they are. But I had to come back because of COVID. I had to come back to take care of my girls, and I got 2 girls. I got a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I had to do the homeschool thing for the last year. In fact, but I had no idea what I'm doing. I'm clueless as a dad. In fact, I have no idea if I'm an effective homeschool teacher until the next couple of years when they're either walking across the stage or working the stage, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. But my daughters, I mean, I'm not sure if you guys are parents here, or if you have siblings, but have your parents ever said to you, or have you ever asked your parents, who do you love more? Who's your favorite? What's the appropriate answer for a parent to say? I don't have favorites. I love you both the same. No, I don't play that. I just tell them straight up. Oh, who's the favorite? Depends. Right now, it's not you. I flip-flops back and forth. I'll be straight up with girls. One of you guys are on track to getting a full ride to university and being taken care of for college and tuition. The other, I'm gonna keep for spare parts because daddy needs his new kidney and I drink a lot. So figure out who's who. If you want my love, fight for it. The last winner standing is my favorite. Fight! Yes, girls. And my youngest always wins, so I'll just figure that one out. She can survive. Yeah, but my youngest daughter, God bless her soul, because she's now back in regular school, and she was bullied the other day by someone in a class, and she came home upset. And it's like, oh, I want to feel better. So my wife and I, we took her to the American Girl store to make her feel better. and she chose a doll that looked exactly like her bully. Brought it home and stuck pins all over this doll. That's got to be the most bougie voodoo doll I've ever seen. In fact, when anybody asks, I just say, listen, my daughter's really into acupuncture. What can I say? She likes keeping people healthy. And a bully, her back problems ran away. Figure that one out. My oldest daughter, she's interesting because she's very sure of herself, very absolute. Like she came up to me and said, Dad, I just want to let you know that having a period is exactly like having a heart attack. Excuse me? Yes, Dad, having a period is exactly like having a heart attack. Well, sweetie, where do you get your facts from? Do you know what? These are just facts. I found it online and this is true. Okay, all right. But the problem is that I got to explain this to my 8-year-old when she comes of age, because not all the information is passed on from my wife to my daughter. Sometimes I fill in the role of, talk about the bros and the bees. So my 8-year-old is going to ask, hey, Daddy, what's it like to have a period or become a woman? Sweetie, well, do you remember Grandpa had a heart attack a couple of years ago where he was in the hospital and he's talking about his chest feels like it was, like having an animal stepped on it, like an elephant squeezing? Yeah. See, that's what you can have once a month. Once a month? Yeah. It's going to feel like an elephant stepping on your womb. I mean, is it just going to happen for a week or two? No, honey. It's going to happen for 30 years. And you're going to pray for death. And I have an issue with that. Yeah, I know I'm a guy. I can't really speak with authority on menses, what it feels like. But I don't think you use that parallel, because I've yet to hear anybody in the emergency room say, we just lost this guy. Time of death, 12:05. Cause of death, chest menses. Walk him out. So just to wrap up, pre-COVID, I remember being invited to a bachelor party at a strip club by a good friend of mine. And I reluctantly said yes. I said reluctant because I have a hard time taking my professional hat off because I'm a chiropractor. It does come off very easy. When everybody else was sitting in the front row, throwing money at stage at the dancer, saying, shake that ass, make that ass clap, come on, woo, make it rain. And all my friends are acting crazy. I'm looking at the front row at the dancer going, is that scoliosis? I think that's scoliosis. So now I want to try to take upon myself to try and help her and try and coach her. So now I'm waving my $50 bill. Hey, Cinnamon, over here, Cinnamon, over here. Come here, Cinnamon. Come here. No, get off my lap. I don't want you in my lap. Take a knee, Cinnamon. First of all, Cinnamon, great set. So do you remember that maneuver you did on the stage where you're on the pole, you're hoisted off the ground, suspended in a horizontal plank position, you're naked, your tits are pointing up, and you're holding onto the pole with no hands, with nothing but some kind of crazy suction between your legs, and everybody clapped? I noticed that your pelvis was off, imbalanced. That means that your left core could be weak and you may want to get that checked up, but you have a back injury. I'm just concerned, Cinnamon. And she's like, oh, that's so sweet, Dr. Daddy. That's so kind of you. Hey, baby, do you want to dance? Want a lap dance? Cinnamon, no, because your pelvis is really way off and my pelvis is balanced. I don't want to pay for a bumpy ride. I don't want you mucking up my perfect alignment. In fact, Cinnamon, you need me more than I need you. Here's my card. Folks, that night, I helped 10 other dancers like Cinnamon. I converted the champagne room into my own examination room. When everybody else is spending $500 in strippers that night, making it rain, I earned $2,000 in consultation fees. I'm just saying I made it work for me. Folks, that's my time. My name is DC. Thanks for allowing me to be part of this, and I'm honored. Deuces.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really loving this. Again, like Terrence and Simon and I are constantly on the phone with senators. That's like what we are doing all day. And we met with a senator's office today, and you know what they said? We asked them to sign a bill, and you know what they said? they're gonna look into it. Ah, that's all we hear. So this is like so great to like have something that we can kind of laugh at, and it's really it's a great medicine, really. So as they say, so I really enjoy that, and thank you so much for this. I'm going to pull the pin. Okay, great. Excellent. Okay, and so just learned about pinning. This is a lot of fun. So our next comedian is Clara Sen, who is a Japanese stand-up comedian and MC and actor. They are seen on international TV shows such as Asia's Got Talent, Paul Hollywood Eats Japan, and currently hosting Japanese Whiskey World on Demakata TV. I hope I said that correctly. They're gender neutral and a survivor of a Godzilla mom with an experience spending time at a historically Black university in the United States. Clara is a unique unicorn and new pink. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I'm really looking forward to your Oh, she disappeared. Interesting. Well, maybe that's the joke. I don't know. Well, let's move on to the next person, and then if she comes back, we could, get that going. So let me.
I can go ahead and introduce.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so the next up is Alan Orchid. Is possibly the world's only psychiatrist stand-up comic, the love child of Carol Burnett and Sigmund Freud, from Brooklyn, New York, and has appeared on The View, Saturday Night Live, and The Sopranos, playing a psychiatrist. So please welcome Alan.
So. No, Ellen, we can't. Oh, wait. We can't hear you. Oh, okay.
Now?
Yes, excellent.
Finally.
Yes.
Yay, wonderful. Well, I'm very happy to be here on this important cause. We got to help the people in Myanmar. It's just terrible what's going on there, and we got to step up. So give generously and often. I'm coming to you tonight, and I'm very happy to be part of this. By the way, I just want to thank Allison Chadwick for putting this together. Awesome lady. And I'm here coming to you from Manhattan, New York. And we all know this is the city that never sleeps. God darn it, it really needs a nap. There's one thing you never hear anyone say in this town. Where can you get a cup of coffee around here? I'm telling you, there's a hyper caffeinated town. I can't take it anymore. We all drink coffee, then we go to our shrinks and say, I'm so anxious and I can't sleep. There's a Starbucks on every corner and a Dunkin' Donuts in every corner of every Starbucks. It's getting crazy. Where are my coffeeholics? Do we have coffeeholics here tonight? I'm definitely coffeeholic. There you go, DC, I see you. Let's hold hands and tremble together. I'm just glad this stuff is legal stimulant. Thank you, God. Thank you. What if it were a street drug? What would they call it? Bean? Brew? Drip? Perk? I'd really be in trouble. I'd be doing an illegal drug. I'm really hooked on this. I need it. People would talk about me. They go, that Ellen Orchid, you know that comedian? She's whacked out on Bean, man. She's perked. She's got a mug on her back. I was over at her apartment. There were used coffee filters all over the place. Colombians coming and going at all hours of the day and night. They would do an intervention. They would take me to CA, Coffeeholics Anonymous. I wonder what that would be like. Would we sit around drinking wine? Yeah, but I'm so used to the city, I don't think I could live anywhere else. You know why? I'm just not used to breathing air I can't see. I don't trust it. I've just adapted too much to the stress, the pollution, the noise, the crowds. I was walking through Central Park the other day. There was a mime doing his thing, you know, trying to make a buck. People were so rude. They were heckling this poor mime. They were just trying to make him feel bad. I felt so sorry for this guy. I threw him an imaginary quarter because that's the kind of caring gal I am. This is a town with lots of theater. The Broadway shows are opening up. Thank you, God. You know, now that the pandemic is receding a little bit, the Broadway theaters are opening and still as expensive as ever. And here's a tip for you folks. If you do come to one of the shows here, don't go when you're tired. I went and I took a $200 nap. Yes, yes. A lot of the Broadway theaters in Times Square have been taken over by corporations. There's even the American Airlines Theater. One thing about this place, if the show is sold out, you can go standby. And I always get a kick when they try to protect you. The sensitive theater artists put a sign in the lobby of the Broadway house. It says, "Attention, this production contains loud noise, flashing lights, smoke effects." Thanks for the warning, pal. I'll just walk through Times Square. I'll be fine. We're ready. Bring it. You know, they make shows about anything. They made a musical about Alexander Hamilton and it was a big hit. My God. Do you remember some years ago, they made a movie about a musical rather, about the Titanic. Did any of you happen to see this? This was just fantastic. I had to see it. I was so curious. What songs could they possibly make up about this horrible disaster? Clang, clang, clang went the lifeboats. Ding, ding, ding went the bell. Glug, glug, glug went my husband, because I just couldn't swim too well. Broadway! Or how about, do you see that iceberg? Amazing. Geniuses. What horrible subject are they going to make a musical about next? Melanoma, the musical. Melanoma, the most dangerous of the skin cell cancers. I had a mole. I had it removed, mama. It wasn't benign, papa. And cause it wasn't benign, the future's not fine. I don't have much time. Or how about eye diseases? Oh, glaucoma, I can't see a thing. My eyes are blurred. Oh, glaucoma, I can't see a thing. Where did you go? Da, 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 da. Geniuses, geniuses. Well, as our host said, I do work during the day as a psychiatrist. Doing psychiatry in this town is like selling Band-Aids at the Battle of Gettysburg. Woo! It's very stressful. It's a noble ambition, but you really get, you try to help people, but it's a little bit of a lost cause. I'm sorry to say that. Between the mental illness that's so common and the drugs, it's exhausting, We have a drug now, it's terrible drugs. There's a drug now called K2. I don't know if you've heard of this. Devastating drug. It's making people totally psychotic. But I'm curious, whatever happened to K1? It didn't catch on? Is it like the Chanel No. 4 of the drug kingdom? Well, anyway, I've been in therapy for a long time. Do we have anybody here in therapy? Don't be shy. I love it. It's done wonders for me. I'm in group therapy right now, me and 6 strings. Yes, yes. I'm a big believer in therapy. And mental illness is very common. Did you know that 1 in 100 people has schizophrenia? 1 in 100. And the other 99 of us, not doing that well either. let's face it, life is stressful, very stressful, not just the pandemic, but all the challenges that we're facing now. I give us all a round of applause for being survivors. How about a round of applause for yourselves? Really. The holiday times are really very difficult. I always get stuck working in the psych emergency room on Christmas Eve. Last year, on that one night alone, I saw 12 hypochondriacs, 11 obsessive compulsives, 10 pyromaniacs, 9 alcoholics, 8 anorexics, 5 crack whores. Very stressful. Patient came up to me. He goes, doc, you gotta help me. I'm invisible. I said, I can't see you now. Cannot. Another patient was delusional. He was going, I am a prophet. I am a prophet. I said, I'm sorry, this is a not-for-profit clinic. Just sorry, pal, can't help you. Yeah. I'm getting very burnt out. I hate to admit it. You've heard of tennis elbow? I have shrink ear. Yeah, I'm just running out of empathy, folks. I pray for rain. That's when more patients stay home and I can sit in the waiting room and read the magazines. This patient calls me, goes, doc, the voices. I said, stay where you are, get under the covers, don't risk it, don't leave the house. Yeah, it's a shame, it's so stressful. I got interested in the field by reading Freud, Sigmund Freud, such a genius. Do you know that Freud discovered the subconscious? No one else was aware of it. That joke is, let it out, don't repress. We're here, we're sharing. That joke is gonna hit you like a ton of bricks on the way home. We're all at home. In Europe, they still worship Sigmund Freud. There's even a Freud Airlines. I don't know if you knew this. Freud Airlines, the plane has 2 sections, guilt and shame. And the seats are great. They go all the way back to childhood. And the plane is shaped like a penis and the other planes envy it. Yes. Well, anyway, I could go on, but I think that's my time. Can you let me know? Is that my time? It's about, I can go on, I can tell you more. Let's talk about me. I'm only here. I'm sitting here with my coffee. I'm divorced and thank you very much. Don't feel sorry for me. I love it. As they say in Star Wars, may divorce be with you. Woo! It's freedom for me, freedom. The only other option was homicide, and I don't look good in horizontal stripes. I really don't. Every year I celebrate the anniversary of my divorce. I do. First, I buy half a cake, and then I watch my wedding video backwards. I really recommend this. It's very therapeutic. It's an undoing, you see? First, you see the bouquet flying back into my hand. We take the rings off. We look at each other and say, do I? You feel so much better afterwards. I'm not fond of the word divorce. I think we should come up with another word or expression for this state. I think we should use certified pre-owned. But marriage was hard. In my case, it started with the courtship, and that ship was headed right to court. And never forget that marriage is a legal contract, folks. You got to take it seriously. For better or worse, richer or poorer, sickness or health. What other contract would you sign where you agree to contradictory terms? I wanted better, richer, and health. I'm sure that's what I circled. It's not what I got. Anyway, I could go on. You want more? I want to make sure everybody else gets time. All right. We have 2 adult children. And any parents in the audience? I know DC has parents. Anyone else? Those of you that, yes, right. With 2 grown children now. Those of you that are not parents, I want to ask you something. What do you do for aggravation? Just curious. But we have 2 kids and it was very tough raising them. I'll tell you, I complained constantly, I have to admit. My sister would say, Ellen, stop complaining. You blink and they're in college. Not true, I tried it. I got nothing. They were still in front of the TV. It was very lonely being a single parent. My daughter was always on Facebook. My son was always on the Xbox, and I was always on Xanax. Long nights at home trying to help them with their stupid homework. I'd walk around like a policeman and say, I don't see you studying. My daughter would go, I don't see you cleaning.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Had to help them with the homework. I remember the science fair. Every year we had to come up with a project for the science fair. My favorite was, what wine helps mom pass out faster? I really recommend this. DC, you can use this one if you have to do a science fair project. My kids were in a high school in Brooklyn where they had to take Latin. Latin, ridiculous, right? How impractical. Even pig Latin would have been more practical. What, are they gonna get a job working for Julius Caesar? Get an internship for in the Holy Roman Empire? I went up to the school to complain. I said, we're in South Brooklyn. Give us something we can use. Russian, right? The principal said, yet. We were in South Brooklyn. They even have a Russian mafia there, in case you don't know, people from other parts of the world. South Brooklyn has a big Russian community, Russian mafia. How does that work? Do they make you an offer you can't pronounce? Yeah, I've been through it. You can see that I have. I'm trying to date. It's not going well. I go to the dentist just to hear a man say, open wide. You've been a great crowd. Thanks for letting me be part of this. Give generously to help the folks in Myanmar.
Thank you for that. That was fantastic. Yeah, I was really enjoyed that. And yeah, speaking about musicals about melanoma, at the end we'll be giving you some updates about the humanitarian situation in Burma. Anyway, so our friend is back. She literally broke the internet, but it seems like she was able to fix it. And they are gonna perform for us now. So let me pin you right there. So yeah, the stage is yours.
Yo! What's up, world? My name is... I'm back from the future. Yes, my name is Kirara Sen, aka Pink Unicorn from East Coast. Far East Coast, Tokyo, Japan. Yes, network doesn't work here. Actually, I'm sorry about that. Well, by the way, I know my hair makes me look like Scarlett Johansson or K-pop idol or Dennis Rodman. Well, I'm half Japanese and half Japanese, in total Japanese. But I like to call myself mix, a mix of Tokyo and Nagoya, the second largest city of Japan. So you can call me Toyota Hybrid. Running on Japanese sake. I think I grew up in very average Japanese middle-class family. I have one mother, one father, one brother who is 2 years older than me. And my mom loved cooking. But one day, my dad complained about the taste, like, it tastes like A1 sauce on sushi. It tastes shit. And then my mom was like, oh, if you don't like my taste, get divorced. She left the house. And then later that night, Dad brought us children and asked us, children, what if Dad and Mom got divorced? Which would you follow? It was very quiet, just like now. And the first I said, Mom. And brother said, me too. Then Dad said, me too, Mama. It's my best family of my family, best memory of my family. But I'm sorry, it's all lie. Actually, I made up whole this story for when I'm gonna use rental family. Have you ever heard of it? Rental family is really existing service in Japan that you can pay, rent out, you can pay and rent out ideal family members like brother, sister, father, mother, or even wife or husband. But even if you rent out wife or husband, all you can do physically is just holding hands. No more physical relationship is allowed. Just like real Japanese married couple. Well, Japan has a lot of natural disasters, and actually I survived a huge typhoon called Typhoon Yasuko. Yasuko is my mom's name. She's also related to very famous celebrity. Do you know Godzilla? So when she gets excited, she's always like, you are ugly. And I'm like, maybe because I look like you.
Oh man.
But when I was a kid, she was so generous that she allowed me to do whatever I wanted, like English, math and science, or if I was lucky, quantum physics. And I studied 27 hours a day and finally became depressed and hikikomori. Hikikomori is a Japanese term to mean people who don't go to work, who don't go to school, who stop everything. In America, which is known as a comedian. But now I'm hosting my own TV show called Japanese Whiskey World. So now I can call myself workaholic. My friends around my age already have kids. And to say the truth, I'm also a parent of a 6-year-old inner child. And I always tell her not listen to people saying no, just follow your pure curiosity and passion. And she is very, very interested in cocaine. So to make it happen, I'm moving to the States soon. And speaking of America, before going to the States for the first time, I really didn't know about racism. You know, America is everything is about race. But before going there, I really didn't know about what racism is, because Japan is very homogeneous country and the Japanese are Asian, white people. But now I really want to know more about white people. So now I'm studying Bible. And I was very impressed by the first sentence of it. Like, in the beginning, God created heavens and the earth. And everything else was made in China. Amen. But speaking of Chinese products, once I broke my iPhone's screen, I really wondered which phone I was gonna buy next, iPhone or Huawei, Huawei phone maker. So in other words, I wondered which I let wire my conversation on the phone, American government or Chinese government. But because I am Japanese, I thought like Japanese government would be better. But unfortunately, they were not interested in the women's voice.
Yeah.
That's why I'm moving to the States to speak loud on the stage.
Woohoo.
Woo! Woo, Kalara!
In front of a bunch of drunken American people. All right, that's my time. Thank you. Arigato.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, yeah, thanks so much. That was really amazing with the technical difficulties for sure. Cool. Yeah, thanks everyone for that. That is really amazing. And I think like some necessary respite from the stuff that we've all been working on with Burma. And you know, as the friend Ellen said, that hopefully motivates people to give more, kind of loosen up a little bit and support what's going on. Terrence is going to give a really brief update about, I guess, just a few things with Burma. I'm in like such a high spirit right now, so I think we want to keep it somewhat light, but just you know, just so that we all know why we're here.
Yeah, so Burma, I'll just give like a quick summary. Basically, Burma was, you know, a country that was under control of the military for many years, military dictatorship. And around 2015 was when it started to have some form of democracy. But then this year, February 1st, 2021, the military decided that they no longer want to, like, you know, give away power. So they decided to take over again. And then since then, a lot of protests are happening, and they've been cracking down on protesters. They've been trying to arrest, you know, people for no reason other than like disagreeing with them. And then the military's just been like, you know, killing people and then, you know, doing all those things. And Mike told us to like keep it light, right? But it's a little bit difficult to like keep it light. But you know, so right now, you know, Burma is under military control, and we're doing everything that, you know, we can to bring back the democracy that they had back then, and then even to, like, you know, be better than it was before, because even before the coup, the democracy was still like very limited. It was sort of like a quasi democracy. So now, like, we're trying to like get it so that it will be, you know, a full federal democracy. And in the U.S., we've been focused on a lot of lobbying efforts, especially in Congress right now, in the Senate, and then in the House. They are trying to introduce the Burma bill, which is going to sanction a lot of the military-owned businesses in Burma, like the Myanmar Oil and Gas Enterprise, and then also providing humanitarian aid to people who are running away from the military, people who are suffering from COVID, you know, the people who have, you know, resettled and they had to like run away from their homelands to escape the military, right? So any kind of, you know, assistance from the U.S. government will be like, you know, helpful to them. So we're trying to get that Burma bill passed. It takes a while. It's taking a while right now. You know, they keep saying that, you know, hey, we're gonna pass it, you know, pretty soon. But then, you know, it takes a while to for them to like do it, because they don't have that. Congress, for example, they are prioritizing other things, which we can understand, right? But, you know, we're trying to like have them focus more on Burma. And then in Burma as well, there is also in a way, like a sort of like a shadow government that is also trying to go against the military as well. And so, you know, they need a lot of the support that you know, we can give them. And then they have, you know, like a lot of resources to help the people in Burma too, because the military is not providing that for the people. Especially like, you know, with COVID, like in the United States, you know, we're lucky that, you know, we have vaccines available. We are lucky that we have, you know, medical care available to us, even though it's not perfect. It's not, I'm not saying the US is perfect, but we have a lot of things, you know, available to us. But in Burma, the military is actually taking away oxygen tanks from people so that they would just die. So, you know, things are, you know, really bad there. But, you know, we're trying to do whatever that we can in within our ability to make sure that the democracy movement in Burma can, you know, come into fruition. Anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, definitely all of that. I would say that, you know, on a somewhat positive note, I mean, that the crackdowns on the democracy protesters have been absolutely horrific, but it has been very, I think, inspiring to watch how people like keep coming out day in and day out to fight the military in different ways, despite the sort of impossible odds that they face. And I think that that is really affirming of like humanity and like what makes us people, and that we, you know, we need to have more freedom than, you know, like there is like a human spirit that pushes back against oppression. And I think that I think that ties in a bit to comedy, because I feel like this like helps us like kind of explore ourselves and be creative. And I feel like I learned a lot about all of you from your routines, like whether or not it's a real you or sort of like a made up you. But like, I think in a way there's a similarity there in that, like, I think that comedy and like the mass movement against the dictatorship in Burma are both like very life affirming things. So yeah, I just want to thank all of you again for your time, and it's been a really lovely evening. It took me from a day of a lot of like, oh, you want us to sign that bill? No, we'll look into it, to a lot of more fun places. So I really appreciate all of that, and all of you for coming and lending your time to us. And yeah, just thank you so much.
Yeah, and just to like add on a positive note, right? Clara was talking about how like in Japan, like you know, in the joke is there is about like what there's like no racism or whatever, right? So in Burma, right? In Burma, even though people look very similar to one another, there's a lot of racism, a lot of prejudice against different ethnic groups before the coup. But now after the coup, we're seeing that, you know, the majority Burmese and then the ethnic minorities, like I'm a Karen, so I'm a minority in Burma. And there are other ethnic groups too. We're all coming together to fight this common enemy, right? And that's really refreshing to see, because in the past, we've been divided by the military so that they can control us. But now we're rising up, coming together to fight the military. So I think that's really, really, you know, beautiful to see. And hopefully, you know, this will like move us in the right direction. And if you, you know, want to help, if you want to donate, you can go to Campaign for a New Myanmar. That's the organization. You can go to the website, and there you can, you know, donate, and you can also look at some things that you can do, especially like if you're living in the United States, for example, you can write to your senators, your congressional representatives. We have basically like the letter outlines everything in there. Basically, you just have to like fill in your own information and you'll be able to like send it out. So please check it out. The website is Campaign for a New Myanmar. If you Google it, it should be the first thing that comes up.
Yeah, and just thank you everyone again, and yeah, it's just, I hope you stay in touch, because this was a lot of fun.
Thanks so much.
Anyways, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.